Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag-off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two dumb yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 732 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. This is Friday. Not our usual Friday. This is a Friday of the NFL draft. As a matter of fact, we got to see the first round go down last night in Wisconsin. We'll continue to follow what goes on down tonight in round 2 and 3. And what goes on through the rest of the weekend, 4 through 7 on Saturday. Guys, a lot of stuff to go over today. There's tons of things to go over. This NFL draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers first round pick, a bit of a surprise, I think, for a lot of people. And on top of that, Mike, O'Neal Cruz, three leadoff home runs in the last 9 days.
Wow.
He has 7 home runs and 11 stolen bases. Mike, he is on pace for a 40-40 season. Let's hope that he could do that. That'd be fantastic.
Be awesome. I still want him to live up to the hype. But, sometimes, man, he does the bonehead play that you kind of forget all the good that he can do.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's a lot of athletes. They bring that.
Exactly. Yep.
That's an athlete trait. Good morning to Richard on the board. Nice to see you, my friend. Always great to see you. I do want to say before we do get started, okay, get this. I don't know if you guys have this everywhere people are, because I'm going to say that I know the people that do watch this show, they are all over the place. We got people in Texas and people in Las Vegas, Wisconsin, Japan. A lot of different places. So I just was kind of curious. I went out yesterday. I was doing a few things, and there was one of these cars driving around my town that didn't have a driver, and it's just driving around doing its thing. And you know how you go past a car and you always kind of side eye the car that's going the other way to see if it's a chick, if it's somebody that you should be pissed about, whatever. And I look over and sure enough, nobody. There's nobody in this car. It's just driving down the street by itself. It's a weird thing to see, and like I said, maybe where P is in Japan, this is something that's normal.
Yeah.
But right here in my hometown, it's not normal at all.
No.
And to see this car just driving around was weird, Mike. It was odd.
Yeah, I don't trust the self-driving cars at all.
What happens if they wreck into you? What happens then? What happens?
Yeah.
How do you trade your information with a car with no driver in it? And,
exactly.
And
like if. God, there were stories like where a Tesla went through a house. These people came and towed the Tesla away, wouldn't even talk to the owners.
Yeah.
And they just towed it away. So now there's like no proof unless luckily they were able to take pictures and get video. So it's like, yeah, those driverless cars. I love the concept. I love it. I I think it's awesome. But right now, man, that technology is so new. I don't want anything to do with it right now.
And we haven't went through the hardships of it yet. Before you could fix it. Stuff has to go terribly wrong first. Good morning to everybody on the board. Good morning to Jen. Good morning to Kingston. Welcome to the show. Good morning to Tortilla, Richard, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back, Derpy. Welcome back, Mike. Welcome back.
Tortilla, that might be the case. Derpy might be held at gunpoint.
we will get to Derpy in just a moment. I got a lot to say about Derpy, actually.
Yeah.
But I do want to say welcome from high atop the Pittsburgh. I don't know, where the hell were we? Anyway, I can see you. I can see you wherever you are. Jen, I see you in Wisconsin. Tortilla, I see you in California. I see all you guys. Good morning. Welcome back. Let's get into it, guys. The draft yesterday, it kicked off. Everybody sat by waiting patiently. The guys did a pretty good live stream. As a matter of fact, it was really good. It was a really good live stream. I do want to say good job to the guys. Yeah. They carried on a marathon for roughly 4 hours. It was it was a long time. You're waiting for your pick, and that time it's like watching paint dry. You don't, you're waiting for your team. You don't give a shit what anybody else is doing. But nonetheless, let me read some of these messages, Mike, and we will jump into it. Let's see. Tortilla did say, "Hey, what's up, Kellerhost?" Tortilla did say, he did say, Derpy being held at gunpoint to be here right now. That's about it. I got to be honest, and we're gonna get into him real soon. Kingston says, "Do you think we trade Pickens or Highsmith to get into the second? We have too many needs." We will get into that shortly, just as well, Kingston. If you just if you could hang around for a couple minutes, Jen and Kellerhost. Well, good morning to everybody. Good morning. So we're gonna kick into it, guys. Last night, the guys, they did a live stream. It was really good. I was watching it, and then I got back to it later, and I caught the whole thing, and everybody was good. Finch dropped by. It was a lot of fun. A lot of good moments, and I know that everybody on the board. Jen says thank you, and
thank you for everyone who stopped in last night, even if it was just for a few minutes here and there. It was awesome. It was fun.
Absolutely, and yes, thank you to everybody who did stop in and support the guys. It went really well. It did go really well. Going back and looking at everything, so thank everybody on that. So Mike, put up if you got a moment, could you put up a poll? Just ask, say. Are you satisfied with the first round pick for the Steelers last night? Just a yes, no, maybe so. Put that up there. We'll see what we get, guys, because everything that I'm seeing, people aren't too happy. What went down in the first round of the draft, but you know what? A lot of people seen this coming. A lot of people predicted this. As I'm screaming quarterback, just like everybody else was. There was always those people in the back saying, you know what, we got to go after a defensive lineman. And my logic was this. We have too many holes in the offense to go after a defensive player in the first round, not have a second round pick, and then pick back up in the third and 4 through 7. You never know what you're going to get. That's a crapshoot a lot of the time. So, there's a bit of a controversy, and people, they want their quarterback here in Pittsburgh. Whether Shedeur Sanders be that man, whether Jackson Dart be that man, I don't, obviously he can't be anymore. But what is the grand plan? What is the grand scheme that the Steelers are thinking? I mean, grabbing another guy to fill in the hole on your highest paid defense in the league when you still have all these holes on the offensive side of the ball. What's the grand scheme here? What's the plan? Because we struggle to score points the past 3.5, 4 seasons. You bring in a wide receiver and you bring back an old friend at quarterback, and all of a sudden, I guess our offense is okay now. We will find out, Mike, because first and second round talent will be gone by the time we get to make our next pick, which is again tonight in the third round.
It doesn't really matter if you can't do anything on the offense, Richard.
And it's rounds 2 and 3 tonight. That starts at 7 o'clock, and then tomorrow it does continue rounds 4 through 7. That's at noon. So we will certainly be keeping a close eye on what's going on with this team. Good morning to Roger. Roger on the board. Roger's in the back row, and he's saying, like a good neighbor, State Farm. And Aaron Rodgers just will not pop up. I don't know, Mike, is this going to be the plan? Again, what is the grand scheme of this offense? And, again, there's a lot of question. What's going to be addressed later in the draft? And a lot of guys that you get in those rounds, they don't either pan out or come along right away for you. So, we plugged the hole on defense. We got Larry Ogunjobi replaced with the young guy, which is good. I mean, ultimately it needed done. But all in all, guys, are we satisfied that we haven't touched the offense really yet? I mean, a lot of people are going to come out and they're going to say, well, your second round pick is DK. And that's a good point. Okay. But is that going to be enough to get us any further down the road to where we want to be? And if it's not just yet, because people are saying, this is going to take 2 or 3 years, which is what people have been saying for 2 and 3 years now. what's the grand scheme here, Mike? What is ultimately, I can agree with you at the end of the day and say, okay, that was a good pick, but I could also give you some reasons why I think that we could have went other ways. But Mike, again, with what we see so far, with what we know, what's the grand scheme here? What do the Steelers have up their sleeve? Because again, we're not any better off than we were this time last year, maybe on either side of the ball, considering that the guy's a rookie on the defensive side and he's taking over Larry's spot. So maybe he won't live up to Larry's, what Larry's been able to do to this point in his rookie season. We don't know. We haven't seen, but have we improved? Will we improve? And will there be enough improvement that's going to happen, Mike, in these next 2 days that's going to make this team any better in this upcoming season?
Ooh, wow. A lot to digest there, but you're right. You hit all the key points of this team. There was a report out. Sorry, Derek, I got to turn you down a second. That beep's killing me. That Aaron Rodgers was told by the Steelers, hey, you have until 48 hours before the draft to let us know what the hell you're doing so we can execute one of the multiple plans that we have. And the rumor is that he told them what they intend to do. So the Steelers are going about this draft according to plan with the information they got from Aaron Rodgers. So that means either he's signing or they're moving along. And don't forget, the team said they are comfortable this year with, Mason Rudolph being that bridge quarterback. If they didn't think Jackson Dart or Shedeur Sanders would be a top 5, top 10 franchise guy to lead this team into the future, then by their logic, they were smart not to reach on them. We've seen it in past, not just, Kenny Pickett, the Steelers, but other quarterbacks that teams have took in the first round that you shake your head at, like, why are you taking them? And they just never panned out, never did anything. So they're playing smart. They let the draft come to them like they were saying on the board, doing the Howie Roseman, letting the players fall to them that they want, and they got their guy. So you got to trust the process there. Yes, I would love to have seen a quarterback, but I liked Jackson Dart early this year, but I liked him in the second round. I loved him in the second round after getting a better piece in round 1, getting him in round 2 so he can sit for a year or two. Same
Mike,
thing
let
with
me ask you,
Shedeur
was
Sanders.
anybody else going to pick this guy? Was anybody else going to pick the guy that we got? Do you seen between now and our next pick? Do you see Derrick Harmon going between our first round pick and our second round pick? Was there anybody? Because people are going to say, why wouldn't you just get your guy? The New York Giants scooped him up. Why wouldn't you just get your guy if you're looking for a defensive lineman? Chances are you could probably get a pretty quality defensive lineman in the third round.
The thing is, like, you go down to pick 28. Detroit takes a D tackle as well. So Harmon could have been gone right there. And then if that was your guy and you think everyone else below him has a bigger drop off, you're going to get your guy at that position. I don't think they're going to take running back in first round. The only other spot on offense maybe would have been one of the wide receivers. And Mbaka was gone then, and it left Golden and Luther Burden. There's the 2 receivers they could have taken. They could have taken either of those guys. I would have been okay with it. But if they're going to keep DK Metcalf and George Pickens, and then you hope, that Roman Wilson comes along, you have Calvin Austin, who you should be able to retain him and George Pickens. Okay, they're pretty good at receiver right now. So they're like, okay, what's another key spot on this team that we've been absolutely obliterated at? D tackle. Stands out big time. We had trouble rushing the passer. Our sack totals were down. Interior pressure was not there, and you saw what teams did. Like if TJ Watt couldn't get going on the outside, there was no internal pressure.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Was it that vital to have taken the defensive tackle in the first round to where our defense would have totally just crumbled? Again, we have the highest paid defense in the league. We have 3 of the biggest superstars in the league on our defense. Would it have hurt the defense to just been not been able to grab that one position opposed to maybe working on the position that touches the ball every single play on the other side of the ball, or maybe one of the other positions on the offense? Again, a very anemic offense over the past 3.5, 4 seasons. Would the defense have not survived by making that pick, Mike? You see what I'm saying? Would it have been more beneficial to try to get a first-round talent on the offensive side of the ball, being that that's where the problems are? Yes, the defense is giving up a lot of points, but Mike, look at it this way. If you're scoring more points on offense in the playoffs, the defense isn't giving up as many points because you're putting more up. That seems to be the problem. We can't score. We're 3 and out. They get the ball. So was it more vital to fill one spot on the highest paid defense than it was to get the most important spot on the lowest paid offense?
I think so, because I think Harmon is a much better player than Jackson Dart and Shedeur Sanders. I think the gap between Sanders, Dart, Will Howard is not that big. The reason Dart went in the first round is because teams want quarterbacks and you overdraft. I think even Cam Ward was overdrafted at the first round. I think all these quarterbacks in this draft were second, third round talent. So, like, Derrick Harmon was a first-round talent.
None of these quarterbacks were first-round talent?
I don't think they were first-round talents. I think they were second- and third-round talents that got overvalued, overpicked. And, we see this all the time in drafts where quarterbacks get taken high and they don't pan out. And, the reason they got talked about and taken is because teams want quarterbacks. And it's, it is the position that you said that touches the ball all the time. But you overdraft
the most important position on the
But
field.
if you overdraft a guy just because you need a guy,
or he could turn out to be Brock Purdy, or he could turn out to be Tom Brady. I mean,
he can. But when you're
because nobody suspected Tom Brady to be a first-round pick, the guy ended up being the GOAT.
Yeah, and you take a flyer on a guy like that in the 6th round. You first-round picks, I don't like reaching for quarterbacks because you can see what happens, man. It sets franchises back years. We're going through that now. We thought Kenny Pickett was the guy. They overdrafted
picking
him
the wrong quarterback, but
on the draft.
But yet we don't really have a quarterback. So I mean, how does that put us in a worse position than we're in when we don't have a starting? And you're going to, people are going to say, we have Mason, but I mean, come on, realistically, guys, when we're talking about a starting quarterback, we still don't have one.
Mason Rudolph and potentially.
Well, I just
Aaron
addressed
Rodgers.
that, yes, but I mean, come on, Aaron. I mean, is Aaron Rodgers is that going to pan out?
I think short term, yeah. If they think that this roster can,
you think it would be good for the team? You think it'd be good for all the outside baggage that the media just loves to devour here in Pittsburgh? You think that would be the best situation? Is going after a 41-year-old guy instead of getting a young guy in the draft?
It would have been the same media circus with Shedeur Sanders. And
again, that's not the question. I'm asking a specific question.
Yeah, I'm addressing because either way, if we take a young quarterback, there's still going to be pressure from the media on that quarterback.
Okay, but that's a different kind of baggage, though. I mean, obviously, you're going to want that. You want that with a young quarterback.
Yeah.
But, with a 41-year-old guy, you should have to treat him like a kid. You shouldn't have to babysit the guy.
Well, I'm just saying, like, Derrick Harmon is a much better pro prospect than any of the two quarterbacks that were.
We will see. I mean, that's one good thing about sports. We do get to watch it play out.
To find out, yeah.
To watch it play out. I do have to get caught up on some of these messages.
Oh yeah, they're flying in.
Let's get in right here. I believe that we. All right, Tortilla, what's up, my man? Tortilla says, I hope we can trade some future picks to get a late second somehow. Hopefully, keep our third and fourth. I'm sorry.
Won't happen.
Jen says, I have to drive through Green Bay tonight to visit family. Good luck.
Good luck.
Richard says, also, there wasn't a quarterback in this draft, Derpy. That was a first-round draft candidate left on the board. Tortilla goes on to say, if Rodgers is coming, I think we just need a good running back, and our offense will be fine. Maybe draft a QB or O-line for depth. Corey, what's up, brother? I missed you, man. I was wondering what's how you been. He says, how's it going? I've missed you guys. Had a death in the family during the show last Thursday. Oh, man, I'm so sorry to hear that, Corey. We did miss you, and I'm so sorry to hear this. Great to see you back, man. Hope we can help out a little bit. Jen says, I could see the Steelers talking about the D-line in their later rounds. Tortilla says, keep your head up, Corey. Glad you can make it. Absolutely. Richard says, the Steelers will be drafting a quarterback in this draft. Mark Malone, what's up, brother? Good morning to you, sir. He's staying with that 4,235 touchdowns. You know what? I'm a big fan.
I hope it happens.
I hope that it happens, because if it does, we're all going to be smiling on this show.
Oh, we're smiling like butcher's dogs, baby.
Corey says, I feel that Aaron Rodgers is coming here because if he wasn't, then we would have drafted a quarterback as a backup option to compete for number one with Mason. Now we can take a quarterback in the fourth to fill the room while we wait. Another thing, and I know people hate when I do this, but let's just say that Mason's our guy. let's say that we get one of these third or fourth or fifth round quarterbacks, and we just bring them in to fill the spot, and Skylar Thompson is our other quarterback. Let's say Mason gets clubbed in the first week of the season and breaks several ribs. Let's say he breaks several ribs and he's out till December. So, it's somewhat you have to the defense could have survived without one spot. That's what I'm saying. Now we're sitting there with Skylar Thompson, which could certainly lead to a good draft pick next year in Pittsburgh if that be the case. But if you don't mind losing, maybe that is a good idea. I don't know. Tortilla says Harmon wasn't making it out of the first round. Mark Malone says, I'd rather have a colonoscopy than the Steelers draft Dart or Sanders. Richard said also the Steelers offense with Mason can score. I mean, I don't know if that was proven, but we did. So we also, again, Kenny Pickett won a lot of games here in Pittsburgh, believe it or not. Richard says, I agree with Mike and Mark. Jen says, I think with Harmon, it frees up everyone else on the D to do their jobs. Not being able to stuff the run kills us like last year. So we're all right, guys. I'm hearing you out. Tortilla says, unless we took Hampton or Golden, there wasn't many offensive players we could have taken, and we can't have our first and second going to wide receiver. We can wait on running back. Also, he goes on to say drafting one of the top DTs who can stuff the run and the pass will help us in the long run. I'm hearing a lot of comparisons to Stephon Tuitt. Stephon Tuitt is the main comparison I'm hearing by Pittsburgh media when talking about Derrick Harmon.
I heard
they better ready to have some Stephon Tuitt money.
I've also heard too, like Chris Jones from KC, that type of production, like type of play, similar attributes to be able to stuff the run.
Here's the thing: he's such a great lineman. I mean, what are we gonna do with the rest of the line? The other 2/3 of the line, one is old. And one is not been able to live up to what we needed him to for the first 4 years of his career. So again, a lot more still to be addressed, of course. Corey says, I do like the idea of drafting Howard now because he talks with a chip on his shoulder, similar to Brady. Below average talent with an excellent work ethic beats a lazy, talented player any day. Roger says they didn't draft Mason to be a backup. They drafted him to replace Ben, but Ben hung around longer than expected when Mason played. He did well. Also, this is something that I did read about Mason. This is from Jerry Fowler. You guys may have seen this. Jerry Fowler says, I asked the NFL offensive coordinator where Steelers quarterback Mason Rudolph would rank in this draft class had he been coming out with this group, and they placed him right around the third. That offensive coordinator placed him right around. He would be about the third best quarterback in this draft right here. So, I mean, again, that's just, that's one person say. It's the person that's in the league. They know what they're talking about, but they have him right around the third best quarterback coming out in this year's draft, Mike, which would make whoever the next quarterback that comes out of the draft would be, because I think we gave up, or two got picked last night. Real quick, I do want to say what's up to Yinzer Joe. What's up, my brother? I hope you're having a good draft weekend. And also, Mark says, if this dude can move like Tuitt, we hit a home run. So, I mean, a lot of mixed opinions on this, Mike. I'm looking at the board. 78%'s happy. 78% of the people are happy. I going against what I'm seeing on the internet, a lot of people are disappointed. But you know what? I think they're eventually gonna warm up to it. 11% are saying no, they don't like it, and 11% are saying they're still not sure, Mike.
Yeah, and I think the smartest group is the not sure people, because we don't know until it happens. Because like I freely admit, I thought T.J. Watt was a stupid draft pick, Lawrence Timmons was a stupid draft pick. I thought trading up for Troy Polamalu when we needed a running back and Larry Johnson was right there, I thought those were stupid moves. And they all bit me in the ass. I wanted Phillip Rivers. We get some big dumb idiot from Ohio.
Hey now.
We got our big dumb idiot from Ohio, Derpy. You are
undefeated. That's right. We got our own
you are our Big Ben, buddy. we got to keep you away from bars, though. But you don't know. But that's part of the fun too. Is the debate of, oh no, I'm right. No, you're right. This guy's a beast. This guy sucks. The debate is fun. We'll find out soon enough once camp starts up here.
Absolutely. A couple of things, notes that I do want to make. I do want to talk about here briefly, guys. Is this Derrick Harmon? I'm sorry, out of Oregon. So that's two linemen in a row that we got from the state of Washington, of course, last year. Troy Fatanu, the tackle out of Washington, and this year we have the defensive tackle out of Oregon. Derrick Harmon, his mom apparently was sick in the hospital during the draft.
Yeah.
So, good.
Support.
What's that, Derpy?
I believe she's on life support.
Yeah, it's not good for her. It's prayers and thoughts go out to the Harmon family, our new Pittsburgh family coming to town. Mr. Derrick Harmon, guys, he'll be here probably today. I imagine. I think he'll probably arrive here in town today. Jen saying, hearing the story about his mom's brain surgeries and how humble Harmon is, he won me over. Can't wait to hear him speak later today. I think that's gonna smooth things here in Pittsburgh too. This is the story that's gonna come with him, which is cool, good. I mean, that's fine with me. Tortilla says at the very least we can say we didn't make the same mistake we made with Pickett. We won't know for a year or two, but at least we didn't reach for a quarterback we could possibly get later. Some may say this, guys. Some may say there was a big similarity between this in 1983 when we drafted Gabriel Rivera, the defensive tackle, at 21 instead of taking Dan Marino, who went on, of course, to be one of the best prolific passers the league has ever seen. But to think that Jackson Dart or Shedeur Sanders is that guy, I don't know. It's unfair.
Yeah, you don't know.
It's unfair to say. But my comment on Shedeur Sanders is this, Mike, and I never loved the idea of Shedeur. I accepted it.
Yeah.
Because I thought, what, if he comes here and he could do, if he could do some awesome things, fantastic. I'll take it. But let me put it to you this way. Let me put it to you this way, guys. Shedeur Sanders just got his number retired less than a week ago by his college. His number retired. And he didn't make it out of the first round of the draft. This Shedeur Sanders is what I've been saying the whole time. This whole thing is a novelty. It's going to be a freaking disaster wherever he goes. He's going to bring the baggage. He's going to bring his dad. His dad's probably going to be the head coach in 3 years of wherever he goes. I mean, come on. It is what it's some Deion Sanders kind of stuff. I mean, you know what? Here it is, guys. He didn't make it out of the first round. Mike, he was initially penciled as a first to third pick overall.
Yeah.
And in a matter of 2 weeks, he falls entirely out of the first round. I'm sure somebody's going to snatch him up in the next round.
Oh, yeah.
Mike, just for the record, he just did have his college number retired.
Yeah. Yeah, I see him being snagged by, I think, Cleveland has the first pick?
Yep.
I can see them going right there, snagging him. That can be what happens. And, yeah, like, Shedeur, like, his dad is the big negative influence on him. He needs to get far away from Deion as possible and just be your own person. And see if you can sink or swim on your own.
That's what my friend asked me. I have a friend. I have one friend that has nothing to do with what we do. And he just asked me. I was talking to him while the draft was on. And he said, why is nobody taking this guy? Why is Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders? I mean, the guy was an elite NFL football player. I said, because he was coached by his dad. You don't know what you're getting when you get a guy that's coached by his dad. You just don't. Because he's going to do everything to put his son in the right position. So you don't know if the guy is going through all the, all the motions of the things that guys have to do to prepare. Again, there is the Deion Sanders factor. But let's get back on the board, Mike. We do got so a lot of things we're going to get into today. So let me jump on right here, right where Yinzer Joe says, I think it was the logical and most predictable pick. How do you pick a deep second round pick? You know what? I don't know if this pick was predictable. I mean, as far as the guy, I think the position was certainly predictable. We've been saying all along, defensive tackle. I didn't know that this guy was going to be our pick. Jen says 4 p.m. today. That is the start. I don't know what's going on at 4 p.m.
I think that's the media availability for Harmon.
Gotcha. Also, Corey Beaver says, I would still rather beef up our offense. We need more impact players to run the score up and stay relevant in games. Derrick Harmon is going to get gassed and give up 100+ yards per game if we don't play off. Absolutely. We have the offense should be priority number one. Yinzer Joe says, well, Kenny broke some of Marino's records, and where is he now? That's true. That's what I'm saying. It's not
He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
He is a Super Bowl winning champion. No two ways about it. Send him to Dallas or Cleveland. Richard's saying, talking about Shedeur Sanders, which is probably what's going to happen.
Yeah,
that seems like a nice disastrous outcome for him. Derpy, I'm sorry, Caleb. I'm sorry. What's up, my brother? He says Derpy has to destroy the fire alarm now.
I'm surprised it did not get destroyed last night.
Tortilla says the Browns.
It can torture everyone here because we drafted the defensive tackle.
I'm getting you in just a second, Derpy.
Yeah.
Don't you run off just yet. Tortilla Jackson says the Browns have to take him. They win the draft so far. If they take Shedeur, they should win. They got to win some kind of draft. They get the first pick every year for
They constantly win the offseason.
How you don't get better over time is beyond me. What they and the thing about it, I always say the Pirates are the Browns, but the Pirates baseball don't draft the same way that football does.
Mm-hmm.
When you get that first pick every year in football, that's big. That can improve your team.
Yeah.
The Pirates, we don't. It's a different beast. How the Browns continue to be as bad as they historically are,
it's comical.
It never ceases to amaze you. Jen also says, do you see the Steelers trading next year's third-round pick to move up to the second round for a running back? Mike, that's the question. What's the next move? We do have a vacant second round. Again, the second rounds second and third round starts tonight at 7:00 p.m. Mike, what's the move? Again, we're sitting here with our thumbs in our butts for the second round. Actually, the first round they do tonight. What's the move? We're going to have another player by the end of the night, I hope.
Yeah, we'll definitely, because we have third round pick tonight, so we'll definitely have one there. I think we do end up with two.
If we trade out, I mean, come on, let's make another great Steeler move. Maybe we should trade out and have no picks today, right?
Hey, and trade out for an All Pro. Hell yeah, let's do it.
Which All Pro? In the fifth round, we're getting an All Pro.
No, we're going to trade our third round pick for a veteran that's already established. Kind of like we did with DK. But anyway, to get back to the question,
happening. But anyway, go ahead.
I was being facetious. To piggyback to what Kingston asked earlier, do you see us trading Pickens or Highsmith to get into the second? I don't see them trading George Pickens or Highsmith. I think at most for those guys, you would get third round picks for them just based on their contract. Like if you're going based on like value, George Pickens should get a second round pick, but contract and all that shit, the team's gonna be like, no, we'll give you a third because that's what you're gonna get if he walks via free agency. But I don't see them trading a player. Like Jen said, I could see taking picks from next year to move up, taking a third from next year, maybe a fourth round this year, moving that up, see if that can get you into the second round. Definitely if running backs start to come off the board. But that's a move I would definitely try to get back up to the second. Maybe even use, a third this year, fourth next year to bump up. At least you get a pick 1 and 2. Don't have a third that lessens the blow.
Caleb says if Derpy doesn't destroy his fire alarm, I get to use that gift card to order the Aaron Rodgers sandwich.
That's fair.
They still haven't sent it.
Tortilla says probably have to give up next year's second to get into this year's second. Yeah, probably. Yinzer Joe says just because he has the Sanders name, people thinks, including himself and his dad, that he's entitled to have his jersey. Of course, the jersey being retired is retarded. Be a first round pick. I think everybody is backing off that entitlement. That's been my argument the whole time. I said I entertained the idea. It's just because how can you not talk about Shedeur Sanders over the last month? But come on, it ultimately is what it is. It's going to happen. And, I wish him well. He's a kid. I want him to be successful at every level. But
in the way he handled himself not being picked in the first
round. But if you see, if this guy goes to Cleveland, Mike, I could guarantee this is going to be a disaster.
It's going to be a disaster for him.
Two disasters coming head to head together is going to,
No, he
don't create a calm.
Yeah, and Jackson Dart going to New York, I feel sorry for him too. Like those were bad places to go to. A quarterback this year, you wanted to go to a place like St. Louis, the Rams or the Lions and sit behind the veterans and learn from those offenses.
Corey said, Jen, I hope we trade back into the second for Trey Henderson.
I do too.
Or we sit until the third and take a quarterback and then trade back into the third for Scattaboo.
That's not bad.
Tortilla says Sanders said some dumb shit after the draft. He said everything happens for a reason, but this wasn't supposed to happen. Like, what the F, bro? You're contradicting yourself.
That's why I like Shador. He's like me. Just contradict yourself, be a hypocrite.
Now, I do want to take a minute to talk about something that I observed while
Yes.
watching the stream last night.
Yes.
Derpy really took it hard.
Yeah,
I
he
did.
did.
Derpy,
I want to become an alcoholic.
Derpy, he was so bought into the fact that we were going to get a quarterback at 21 that when we didn't get it, things kind of went awry. Mike,
Yeah.
why don't you tell me just a little bit about this, and then we'll get into the. We have some clips we're going to play.
Yeah.
Oh God.
We love you, Derpy. We love you. But anyway, it all started when Tampa Bay took Emeka Ibuka. And that's when
And that's his receiver from Ohio State.
Ohio State. Derpy started it was weird. It was weird. And then the news broke of who the Steelers were taking before it was announced, and Derpy did not like it.
All right, let's check it out. We do have some footage or some clips here, guys. Stick around. Mike is getting us set up. I do want to just say real quick, Mark Malone, welcome, Mark Malone. He says Derpy is just effing with us. No way anybody could put up with that alarm in their house. But it's true. It's not shit.
Damn true.
It's damn true.
It's staying put because we drafted a defensive tackle.
That thing is going to beep until we get a franchise quarterback. All right, here we go, guys. This is the clip from last night. If you missed the live stream, Mike, Derpy, I think Finch was even in there for a little bit here near the end. Mike, let it rip.
Anybody that I don't want.
Okay, maybe we're sitting here trying to trade back, Derpy. It's still going on. We still got a lot of time, or a lot of internal discussion.
I hate everything.
What was that? Hold on. Hey, everything was calm. This was a normal conversation. Derpy,
Yes,
maybe we're just waiting to trade back.
Hold
You
on,
heard Mike say, and this is Derpy's response when he sees.
This is why we'll never win another Super Bowl.
Play it again. Do it again. Turn it up a little bit. I can't hear it.
Anybody that I don't want.
Okay, maybe we're sitting here trying to trade back, Derpy. It's still going on. We still got a lot of time, or a lot of internal discussion.
I hate everything.
That was legit emotion too. That was legit emotion, and you're gonna see. I think Mike has a little bit more.
Welcome to 9 and 8, folks. Here we go.
Mike's gonna play you a little bit more.
I hate everything. Make that a sound button.
That I have the I hate everything just ready to go. And all
Who said that he sounded like a Shriners kid?
I think that was I don't know if that was Steeler Freak.
John, yeah,
it might have been Steeler Freak and my brother. They were talking about the Shriner kids in the commercials.
Play one more time, just in case anybody missed it.
We'll play the whole thing here.
My mic quality sounds bad.
Maybe we're sitting here trying to trade back, Derpy. It's still going on. We still got a lot of time, or a lot of internal discussion.
I hate everything. I hate everything.
And this wasn't even on our pick. This was when he found out a guy from Ohio State.
No,
somewhere else.
No, that was the pick. That was.
This was our pick.
Yeah, he found. Yeah, we were.
This is why we'll never win another Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know we're not trying to spoil the pick. Obviously, you can tell it was not a quarterback.
Okay, we're good.
This is great. This is great. Derpy, I love you.
Winning another Super Bowl in the next 30 years, I guarantee. I hate everything.
I literally before the show, I'm sitting here cutting this up,
Make that a shirt.
I could not stop listening to that little clip of I hate everything over, and I giggle every time I hear it. I've started to stamp my feet. I'm laughing that hard. Derpy.
I hate everything.
And
What?
then
The suffering continues. That's all I gotta say.
And then it didn't stop there. Mike's going to play more, but I just want to say that it went all through the night. Derpy is texting at 3 a.m. Guys, I'm not coming on the show. I am boycotting. Boycotting because of this draft pick. Guys, I have Finch on. I just can't do it. I'm not going to be there all night long. Derpy is and so this morning, I had to talk him down off the ledge a little bit. And he's like, dude, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep last night.
Mike, those are the clips that I had.
Okay, that's everything.
Yeah. Sorry, but yeah. Those are the ones that I had. I may have. I think I had something else written down I was supposed to get, but I couldn't stop laughing at that one, and I lost train of thought.
Derpy, what?
I hate everything. That's the perfect example.
I do have the musical interlude.
Yeah, Mike, go ahead and hit that, guys. Let's calm down with a little with the derpy song, and then we'll jump right back into it. Mike, go ahead, let it rip, man.
I hate everything.
Ohio, where the winds don't sleep. Derpy's a mystery. He's in too deep. Face never shown, just a shadow's grin. Enigma like bourbon with a punch of sin. Oh, Derpy, you're the talk of the town. Steelers jersey on, never backs down. Smoke detector singing its own tune. Beeping for 2 years under that same old moon.
Beep.
This is making it worse, Mike.
It's making it better.
No, it's not.
Kate flapping like thunder till the break of dawn. On 2 dung yancers, he's solid gold. Tales of Derpy man, they never get old. Oh, Derpy, you're the talk of the town. Steelers jersey on, never backs down. Smoke detector singing its own tune. Beeping for 2 years under that same old moon.
Beep.
9-8. Here we go.
Oh, he's Superman from across state lines. Steelers in his heart, yeah, his soul aligns. Ohio born, but Pittsburgh son. Derpy runs wild, he's a loaded fun gun. A ghost in the night with a laugh so sly. Nobody knows if that's truth or lie. The beep beep goes the smoke alarm song. In Derpy's world, it's been beeping too long. Oh, Derpy, you're the talk of the town. Steelers jersey on, never backs down. Smoke detector singing its own tune. Beeping for 2 years under that same old moon. For 2 years under that same old moon. Oh, he's Superman at the Comic-Con. Cape flapping like thunder till the break of dawn. On 2 dumb yancers, he's solid gold. Tales of Derpy man, they never get old. Oh, Derpy, you're the talk of the town. Steelers jersey on, never backs down. Smoke detector singing its own old tune. Beeping for 2 years under that same old moon. For 2 years under that same old moon. Beeping for 2 years under that same old moon.
Good luck getting that out of your head later on. I'm gonna be honest. I
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I'm walking around here singing the derpy song. Let me catch up on some of these messages, Mike. I'm gonna go right around here.
I don't know anymore.
What's that, derpy?
I said I don't know anymore, folks. I don't know. I still haven't slept.
All right.
I'm in distress. I don't know anymore.
All right, I'm gonna jump in right here. Richard says Derpy wanted to rescind his Steelers fan club card. It's true. It's true. We just heard it. Tortilla says I picture Charlie Brown when I hear Derpy yell. Didn't
That's a good take on that.
Not only did John call him because his voice gets to that comedic level when he starts screaming.
Yeah. I love it.
And John said he sounded like one of the Shriners kids, but Mark Malone called him a dill hole also on the board last. And the guys were letting him have it. They were letting him have it. Corey says, after thinking about last night during the draft, I had to tell myself it's okay if we don't draft a quarterback, but it's Rodgers, Rudolph, much different than Fields and Russell. Mechanically, we're unchanged. Joe says, wow, I was going to say turn up the volume, but glad I didn't. I think that was when Derpy got real loud on the clip. Mm-hmm. Richard said the standard is the standard. The standard is the standard, guys. We're back 9-8, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we can do it.
3 and outs as well.
3 and outs. We've done nothing to fix the 3 and outs, but we DK guys, come on. Also, we need that on the soundboard. I hate everything. This is why we'll never win a Super Bowl. That is definitely going to be in the soundboard. From now on, Mark Malone says Corey Beavers, yes, Rogers, Rudolph are much different than Bustin and Midget. We can now throw the ball. But you know what? Last year we were all kind of excited about them too. So, you know, I could see this time next year us hating Aaron Rodgers and Mason Rudolph, depending on how things go. P, what's up, my brother?
What up, P?
P says Derpy needs to pick up some AA batteries. You know what? Derpy actually he's on strike.
I'm on strike.
He's boycotting until we get a franchise quarterback, not even just getting a quarterback. He's leaving the batteries the way they are until we get a franchise quarterback. Roger says, Corey, I think Rogers Rudolph is an upgrade from Russ Fields, and if Rogers is signed and playing to win a Super Bowl rather than feeding his ego, then I think the Steelers will be fine. That's a lot of ifs, though. You know what I mean?
He's 41, about to be 42.
And here's the thing too. Wasn't there a deadline that he was just supposed to have an answer for?
I think I just saw an article that they're done waiting.
That's what going by what the Steelers say, they're done waiting for Rodgers. So again, it's really important what's going to go on over these next 2 days. Tortilla says, imagine the Steelers have Derpy announcing the pick, and before he reads the name, he just crashes out on stage. That would be classic.
I would love to do that. You're welcome, folks. I hate everything.
Roger says, I think it's important to have a veteran to play with DK and G, but you're probably right. Maybe not having a rookie with those two guys getting in his head. I mean, you seen George, when he wasn't getting his passes at certain points. So maybe having a veteran's not the worst idea. Derpy has his own song. Love it. Go Derpy. That was by way of Jen. Mark also says, Jen, I missed that one. Hopefully it talks about him being a midget porn producer. And then P, dang it. Yeah, so it was. I hope you enjoyed the Derpy song. I was feeling it. I was vibing, getting the Derpy vibe today from what I experienced last night.
Oh, it was that latter part of the stream last night with Derpy after he crashed out.
Derpy says he got something. What's up, Derpy?
Shout out to Adrian Peterson.
Oh, I thought you had something important. What? Yeah. Shout out to Adrian
Peterson for having leaving the Vikings draft party, and he got arrested.
It's not a party if there's not at least one arrest.
That's right. If it's not you, then that was a good party.
Exactly. It's a good party for everyone else, but for him.
I'm looking at the board, guys. Numbers are changing. 75% says yes. They're happy with our first round pick last night. 19 say no, and 6 are just not sure still. And there's not a right answer. It's how you feel that things went, and and again, we won't know the answer until a ways down the road. Tortilla says Derpy and GP had the same reaction. Yes, they did. Mike, so you guys think Shedeur Sanders is going to Cleveland with the first pick tonight in the second round?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. It makes sense. You need a quarterback. They really need quarterback help. But my God.
And that's the team that has 14 quarterbacks right now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that just kind of shows you where they're at.
Yeah. You have Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Deshaun Watson. Might as well throw Shedeur Sanders into that hodgepodge and see what sticks if you're Cleveland.
Absolutely. Guys, let's take a moment to go over the first round picks of the draft. Yeah. We're just going to go through 32 names. Number one, of course, overall was Cam Ward. He went to the Cleveland Browns with the first draft pick in the 2025 NFL draft, guys. Number 2 overall, Travis Hunter. I don't think this was any surprise after a trade. What's that?
You said the Cleveland Browns. It's the Tennessee Titans.
Tennessee Titans. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Derpy. I'm sorry. Crucify me, would you? Jacksonville traded up. So I was looking at Cleveland was the next pick, and they traded out. Is why I read it that way. But Colorado wide receiver and cornerback Travis Hunter goes to Jacksonville after the trade. Cleveland trades back to 5. Number 3, Abdul Carter goes to the Giants. Number 4, Will Campbell goes to LSU. Number 5, Mason Graham goes to Michigan to Cleveland from Michigan. Let me start over. Penn State, Abdul Carter goes to New York, playing for the Giants. Will Campbell from LSU is going to the Patriots. Mason Graham from Michigan going to the Browns after trading back. Number 6, this was no surprise. I've been saying for months that Ashton Jennings was going to go to the Raiders out of Boise. That was the number 6 pick overall. Number 7, Armand, say it, Mike. Membu out of Missouri. He gets picked up by the Jets overall, number 7. This guy almost made me want to say Tortilla McMillan. Terroria. Mike, how do you say that?
Terry. Oh God, I had the phonetics the other day and I don't have it. Just go McMillan. Tet McMillan.
Tet McMillan is going from Arizona, is going to the Carolina Panthers with the number 8th pick. Kevin Banks Jr. out of Texas, the offensive tackle, is going to the New Orleans Saints with the number 9 pick. That move surprised me, Mike. I thought they were going after a quarterback. I really did.
Too. Yeah, and like it surprised his baby. His baby found out they got to go to play in Nolans, and the baby just threw up on the spot. Yeah, baby on the spot was like, "Nope, I'm out. Oh, we ain't going to Nolans, Dad. Go somewhere else."
Colston Loveland out of Michigan, the tight end, he goes to Chicago with the number 10 overall pick. Nicole Williams from Georgia, number 11 overall, going to San Francisco. Offensive guard Tyler Booker from Alabama going to Dallas with the number 12 pick. Kenneth Grant out of Michigan, guy Mike liked, the defensive tackle. He goes to Miami on the 13th pick. Then out of Penn State, Mike's tight end. He goes to Indianapolis. I don't think there was any question.
No,
the Colts were taking him.
That was the worst guarded secret in the NFL.
Jalen Walker, the linebacker out of Georgia, he got drafted to the Atlanta Falcons with the number 15 pick overall. Mike, not far to travel from his college to his new career. Walter Nolan, I know some people, Jen is certainly on the board, love Walter Nolan. He goes 16 to the Arizona Cardinals, of course. Big fan. Jen is on the board. Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M, the edge rusher, he goes 17 to the Bengals. With the 18th pick, the Seattle Seahawks take Gray Zabel out of North Dakota State, the offensive guard. Number 19, Abuka, Derpy's wide receiver. This is where it all went.
That's where
it spiraled out of control last
started,
night.
Baby.
The wide receiver out of Ohio State goes to Tampa Bay.
The one guy I wanted. I've been telling you that I wanted.
At number 20,
to the Bucks.
Jahdae Barron from Texas, the cornerback. He goes to the Broncos. Of course, with the number 21 pick overall, the Steelers take Derrick Harmon out of Oregon. The guy, another person that was talked quite a bit about here in Pittsburgh, is going out to run beside Najee Harris. So I'm pretty sure he's probably going to have a pretty good career out there, at least to start off. The running back from North Carolina, Marion Hampton, to the Chargers. Number 23, a nice receiver that I liked out of Texas, Mike. Matthew Golden goes to Green Bay.
Good pick.
Number 24, Donovan Jackson out of Ohio State goes to Minnesota. Jackson Dart, a fan favorite. Of course, a lot of people from Pittsburgh wanted to see Dart come here. He goes to the Giants with the number 25 overall pick. James Pierce Jr., 26 overall, goes to Atlanta from Tennessee. Malachi Starks, Mike. A lot of people were saying this is the win of the first round. Malachi Starks, the safety from Georgia, going to Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Good place for him.
God, him and Hamilton on playing safety in the back end. Look the fuck out. That was a smart move by them. They needed buku help in their secondary, and that was a steal right there.
Another one of Derpy's guys, Tyleik Williams, the defensive tackle out of Ohio State, goes to Detroit at 28. Josh Connolly Jr., the offensive tackle from Oregon, goes to Washington. Maxwell Harrison, the cornerback from Kentucky, goes to Buffalo at 30. Jihad Campbell out of Alabama, he goes to Philadelphia. Them in Kansas City traded picks at the end of the round, and Kansas City finishes up the draft with number 32 pick overall, Josh Simmons out of Ohio State, who's an offensive tackle. That's what the first round looked like last night. A much shorter, abbreviated version of what that last night looked like. Of course, tonight will be round 2 and 3. That's starting at 7:00 p.m. And then again tomorrow, the draft wraps up after rounds 4 through 7. That starts at noon tomorrow. So Still a lot of draft to go, Mike.
Yeah.
We're a team as far as the Steelers go. Again, I mean, the poll is telling me that it's a little bit better than what I'm seeing online. Again, I think a lot of people I've seen online that they were wondering, who's our franchise quarterback, and a lot of the time, Mike, we do this every day. We
Yeah.
talk about this every day, and when you get people that don't, and they're just like, okay, we need a franchise quarterback. And then you start watching basketball, and then you start watching hockey, and then you start watching baseball, and then you turn back and you look at the Steelers, and you're like, oh crap, we still need a quarterback. We're not going to get any better unless we get a quarterback. Then people see the draft is coming. Okay, we're definitely going to get a quarterback in the draft. We're going to get somebody,
Yeah.
and then they see the names and everything, and they keep up with it. Okay, we're probably going to get Sanders. We're probably going to get Dart, and then when the time comes, when that doesn't happen, they're going to get upset and they're going to be like, frustrated. We don't have a quarterback. What did we do to improve from last year? So, again, guys, we'll have to watch, see what we're going to do tonight, see what we're going to do tomorrow. But a lot of people are upset with the move, with the draft pick last night, the Steelers' first pick in the 2025 draft, Mike. But again, the board. I got to say, the people that view our show, we have very smart viewers, and the board has it going 71%. They're okay with it. So you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to trust the viewers of this show. I do trust them most of the time because they're very, very smart people, Mike. So this is where we be.
Yeah, and remember, Ryan, if the pick fails, we can blame the board. For getting our hopes up. We can blame because they're so smart. We're going to blame them.
I'm not throwing you guys under the bus. What's that, Derpy?
I'm blaming his voodoo doll.
That voodoo doll. We haven't done anything since that damn voodoo doll came along. Yinzer Joe says Brown's got to add to that couch jersey. That's right. I think
we got a lot of names to put on there this year.
You ever seen like young people? I don't know so much anymore, but when we were younger, like young people were really, really, really big clothes. Remember there was always that bigger guy that his shirt like went all the way down to his knees. That's what that jersey is going to look like when it's all said and done, with all the space you're going to need for the top quarterbacks that they pick. Cleveland, again, they're going to get another one. They'll get one tonight, probably with the first pick in the second round. Richard says Cleveland, where quarterbacks get drafted and are never heard from again. That's true. Tortilla McMillan would have gone number 1 overall. Tortilla McMillan, yes, he would have. Mark Malone says got to get Howard or Show. I'm going to say his name every way I've heard
I want
it.
Howard, if anything.
Just so I'm not wrong.
I'm just going to call him Suck.
Howard.
Suck.
Yeah, Suck.
Suck.
What'd you say, Derpy?
If anything, I want Howard at this point.
Yinzer Joe. Chargers must have forgot they just picked up Najee. Also, Corey Beaver says, I work with a guy named Derrick Harmon, and he's a Green Bay fan. I almost called him at 10:30 last night to let him know he was drafted for Pittsburgh. Corey also goes on to say, Mark, I vote Howard. A guy at work keeps saying Show over Howard. I don't care either, but I slightly more satisfied with Howard. Okay. Mark Malone need to get Howard or Show and Caleb Johnson. Mark Malone says, I think both turn into solid pros. Tortilla says, if we could land Dudkins or Johnson day 2, I'd be extremely happy. And Mark Malone agrees. So, I mean, guys, the numbers are changing, Mike, as the show goes on. They drop below 70% on the yes. I got to throw that out there. It's around 67.
Oh, it's going down.
It's about about 2/3 of the pick of the votes are in positive. They are in favor of the pick that we had last night, Mike. But 17 and 17, no and not sure. The numbers are definitely changing on the board, so keep them coming. I'm very interested to see. Again, are you satisfied with what went down last night for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Mike, oh boy. So is there anything that surprised you in the first round? Not just the Steelers. Was there?
Browns.
Was it Cleveland just kept trading back? And what was the move that you thought surprised you the most?
That one right there. Yeah, news broke that the Jags were willing to move up, and everyone thought they were going to move not to 2, but a little further up to get Genty. And that was the rumor. And then you find out, they make a trade with Browns, and they get Travis Hunter, a player that the Browns should have been all over. Because, like I said on the stream, even if he fails at playing both positions, at worst, I think his floor at worst is a slot corner and a slot receiver, two positions that are still premium positions in the NFL. The way the game's played now, if I'm Cleveland, I sit there and I take him. Because like I said, at worst, you're getting a viable piece that will be there game in, game out, changing plays on offense, changing plays on defense. But I do like the guy that they got. I like Mason Graham, but to me, Travis Hunter has the best chance of panning out of anyone in the first round. I think he's that athletically talented to where he's going to succeed at either one of those positions, and you draft him right there. So again, the Browns, and then Dallas again overdrafting an offensive lineman. You probably could have got that guy in the second round, but again, they like him. They got him. And I remember the last time they did this in the first round, they took a center years ago. Everyone laughed at him because he had a third-round grade. He turned out to have a stellar career. So when it comes to linemen, I don't really judge negatively what the Cowboys do, but those two are the big head-scratchers. And the third would be the price tag that Atlanta gave to get back up into the first round. They had to give up a first-round pick next year to get back into the first round, where the Giants didn't have to. What they're doing down there in Atlanta is a head scratcher.
I've been saying that for years.
I like the players that they got. Don't get me wrong. The valuable piece to the defense that they need, but they overpaid to get back into the first round.
Absolutely. I gotta say, I'm like that Mason Graham, that Cleveland's defense. They're and it's going to be a lot of the same. I mean, Cleveland is going to have a really good defense, and they might beat us. Depending on what we do, we might not have a good enough offense to even do anything against Cleveland's defense. But it just makes you wonder. Well, that's the thing. I mean, obviously, you have to compete in your division, and are we going to do enough offensively to compete with Cleveland's defense? Are we going to do enough offensively to compete with Cincinnati's offense? And are we going to do enough to compete with Baltimore overall in the division? Obviously, that's first and foremost your biggest priority is winning your division. So I mean, still, again, we do have rounds 2 through 7. Our pick is vacant in the second round. Of course, that was because of the DK Metcalf trade, guys. So between 3 and 7, we got we have a couple of answers we have to make. We have to get here. Another thing I was thinking, Mike, as far as George Pickens, I think somebody spoke of him earlier, asking if he may be traded. I don't think he's going to be, but when what really could happen, Mike, we could somehow play him at the end of his contract and figure out a way to help next year in the draft, maybe pick up an extra pick at the draft in Pittsburgh, depending on what we do at the end of the year with him and his contract situation. Obviously, I personally don't think that they're going to pay top wide receiver dollars. Again, because we don't really have much of anything else on offense, for one. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think, Mike, maybe they'll use that a little bit more leverage in next year's draft.
And what they can do, they could still extend George if they want to, maybe a 4-year deal, move money around to where,
right?
Blah blah blah.
I think a lot of that's going to depend on what we see this year from George.
Yeah, and you invested first round picks in 2 offensive tackles, so you got the 5-year options there. You got Frazier, who's still on a rookie contract, and Mason McCormick still on a rookie contract. So you can overspend for a while on your 2 wide receivers and still have, if next year you go out and you think, okay, this quarterback's my franchise guy, you got your franchise quarterback on a rookie contract. So you can afford right now to have 2 highly paid wide receivers, because you'll have time before the quarterback's contract comes up. And
right.
I don't think Broderick Jones will get a 5th-year option unless he balls out this year, unless he gets back to the mentality he had as a rookie.
Mike, let me ask you.
Yeah.
3 years ago, we were talking about Philadelphia. They just came off a Super Bowl loss, if I'm not mistaken. And we said, what is it now that Andy Weidel and Kahn and everybody's making the calls? What do we have to do to be like Philadelphia, I guess? I mean, as hard as it is to say, but they're winning right now. And we said, what does Philadelphia do well? They built their interior line, the offense, in the defensive line. And Mike, ever since that point, they've drafted Broderick Jones. They've drafted Zach Frazier. They drafted McCormick. They drafted Fatanu. They drafted Harmon. You bring in Isaac Siamalu. Mike, so they've certainly stuck with the plan
Yeah.
to beef up the interior line. Is it going well, do you think? Because we're trying to do what Philadelphia did. We're trying to copy the same mode. Is it going well?
It's going okay. Because you don't know what you have out of Broderick Jones and Fatanu. Like Fatanu was showing flashes before that knee injury. Broderick Jones showed great flashes that rookie year, but this year he was all over the place. So it's going okay. The philosophy, I agree with you. Build your trenches. They wanted to build from inside out, and they're sticking to it. They're not abandoning that philosophy to scrap it and start over. Which you run through. Trust their process. Blah blah blah. Whatever. But I think it's going okay. This year will tell how well Broderick Jones and Fatanu perform. If those two can perform up to their level, the plan is going great. But right now it's going okay because to me, those are the two wild cards. One, because Fatanu got hurt, and Broderick Jones taking a big step back this year from what he did that rookie year.
And also say what you want. I mean, Cam had a great season, but he's aging as well. And the fact of the matter is we're going to be addressing his position probably in the next 2 seasons. And again, I mean, can we really say that we're satisfied with what Keanu Benton has brought to the nose guard position? I thought I seen it in him early on, and then he just kind of disappeared. Mike, I don't know what we're getting with him, but let's get back to the board here. We do have to catch up a little bit. Yinzer Joe, let's see. I'm gonna go right here. Yinzer Joe says, I think Johnson and Henderson are very good zone runners. Hope we get one. Big C, what's up, my man? Big C says, we didn't trade down. Okay, we didn't trade down. Houston and LA got great trade down offers. Mad. Okay, he says, I'm mad. Gotcha. Also, Corey says Atlanta trading the house for their pick was a surprise. Like Mike said, that's just that. What have they been doing lately? That Atlanta team, they bring in Kirk Cousins, then they draft Michael Penix, and they have like 15 quarterbacks. Big C says yes if they called Khan, and he said no, he should be fired. Also, Big C went on to say Dallas got the best offensive line in the draft. Tortilla says if Hunter pans out, no one will remember what the Jags traded for him. But if he's a bust, everyone will remember what they traded. You might think about Travis is this. It's pretty out there to say that people already expect him to be an all-pro at 2 positions. That's pretty out there.
The expectation. We haven't seen anyone like drafted in a while with expectations that high. Like names that come to mind: Crosby, McDavid, LeBron, Peyton Manning might have been the most recent quarterback to have that high expectations of a player coming into the NFL to where you got to be an all-pro immediately.
I mean, even in football with Charles Woodson, who played 2 ways and was I think he won a Heisman Trophy, going both ways. I mean, there was a few guys that did it, but it's like I said, it's going to be very. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Exactly,
and you're going up a whole new level. It's not college anymore.
Like I hope he can do it. Just from like a football fan view, you want to see greatness, but at the same time, I don't want to see it because he's not on my team. And
he's out of Colorado. If he was out of the ACC or out of a different conference, maybe I would start saying, you know what, that's not, again, the competition is going to be a lot different in the NFL than it was at Colorado. Big C says, yeah, I hear that, but damn, if Atlanta was giving us a 26 first, you got to. Tortilla says, I agree. I would have tried to get some day 2 picks, but I'm also not too worried. Got to let the draft come to us. Corey says, I will say that we can't trade TJ now. Now is not it's not worth it to do it now. Not right now, of course. And then Tortilla goes on to say Hunter will get hurt playing 2 ways, and then when he goes down, you lose 2 starters. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot.
That is a big risk. Yeah,
there's a lot that goes into that. Steeler for life. Welcome to the show. He says, can we start a GoFundMe for Therapy's effing smoke detector batteries? We did this many times. I don't know how many times we attempted to stop this mayhem.
I'm boycotting.
but he's boycotting, and now he's saying he's never going to change his batteries until we get a franchise quarterback, not only a quarterback. If we go out and get a guy tonight or tomorrow, that's not going to fix it. We need somebody that's going to be driving us to the AFC Championship game at least, I think is what Derpy is saying. Unfortunately for us, Corey Beaver says Hunter is going to end up. Did I just do that one? No. Hunter's going to have to end a lot of time, and he's only going to get paid for one position. He won't get paid more for playing two spots. He can't be on the field 100% of the time. And yeah, you're losing out on that. If you're making a guy play two ways, even if he's really good, it's wouldn't you rather have a fresh guy out there, 100% of half of the time, than have a guy out there? Oh, I don't know. Just
they got to limit snaps. They got to be smart.
Right.
Which one is going to be his primary position, and then whatever is going to be a secondary, have special packages for him in that role.
Mark Malone says, I still maintain the Busterus Jones is like Kamala of the 1980s WWF. I remember Kamala, of course. He needs a kimchi to get the most out of him. You remember that big guy, Mike? He was slapping his belly, and I was always a Kamala fan.
Roger Jones' rookie year, right? He was aggressive. He was out there firing, beating the fuck out of people. He was getting 15-yard penalties. We're like, dude, you got to calm down. The next year, he was playing the peacemaker. Major League is what's coming to mind. Pedro Serrano in Major League One, he was a beast. And then the second one, he's free and clear of anger and hostility. And he had no huevos, no marbles. He had no balls. That's what's happening to Roger Jones right now. He got to learn how to walk that fine line of fucking crazy and peace and serenity. He got to find it.
Well, fuck you too, Jobu. I do it myself.
That's what he needs to say, and he needs that little samurai guy going, oh no balls, and then Roger Jones will get it together.
Guys,
we got this. We figured this out.
Look, Mark Malone is still in shock. He says, "No effing way that smoke alarm is real. There's no way that is real."
This smoke alarm is going to take on a life of like a major conspiracy. He's going to be up there. The Earth is flat. We didn't land on the moon. We didn't do this. We didn't do that. The smoke.
It's going to be the curse of Derpy's alarm. You know,
that's what it is. We haven't won since Derpy came on the show.
That's true.
We haven't won before, but we haven't won since.
That's very true, guys. Derpy, you alive?
I hate everything.
Derpy, we love you.
If
we weren't busting your balls, we wouldn't like you.
Hold on. I actually have to hear his voice. Yeah, I'm concerned about Derpy. Derpy, you there?
I am too. Maybe he fell asleep.
Maybe he's hanging somewhere.
I hope not. Jesus Christ, no.
Real quick, I'm going to look at I do want to talk about the votes here, Mike, on the poll today. Are you happy with the first round pick? 63, Mike. It is going down.
Do I want to be here? Is that the question?
63.
You want to be here?
Percent. Hold on. Let me finish my thought, and then we'll start that conversation. 63 says yes, Mike. They are happy. 16 says no, and the number of not sure is going up and up still at 21% now, Mike. Derpy, not what has to happen for you to raise your spirits, Derpy? I mean, we have 2 more rounds tonight. We have 4 more rounds tomorrow. Is there anything that could bring your spirits up, or are you pretty much bummed that this is how the draft is going? And I got to say, this is not going to be one of the most popular drafts ever by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No.
The potential of getting a pretty pick that anybody wants at this point. All the guys that we wanted were there, and we did pass them to get the guy that we got. So, and what's going to happen now, Derpy, for you? What's going to happen for you to come out of this rut from what you feel wasn't a great first round pick?
I don't know. No, I really don't know. I just want a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
And we haven't had one since Ben. So,
guys, can we start talking about possible Arch Manning? Arch Manning, 2026. That's even if he comes out.
Yeah.
That's even if he comes out, and that's the
But
thing.
I mean, that kind of gives us something we could hold on to. Yeah, you don't want to say just because this dude's dad was this, but I got to be honest, I've never seen a Manning that wasn't a great quarterback. Maybe that's somebody that
we haven't even seen him thrown yet.
We haven't seen him thrown, but again, I've never seen a Manning that hasn't been a great quarterback. Just keep that in mind. I know people are going to say this, they're going to say that, but at the end of the day, Arch was great. Peyton was great. And you know what? That even the dumb little retarded one won a couple Super Bowls. So at the end of the day, drafting the name of Manning might even be a better pick than taking somebody who's I don't know. We'll see, guys. We have a whole year. We have a year. We got to watch this play out. We got to see how it plays out with the guys that we have.
They better acquire a lot of picks next year. That's all I gotta say.
And we are going to get some extra picks next year, compensatory picks.
We got at least 4 compensatory picks, Derpy.
Yeah. Tortilla says Derpy's eating batteries to get his energy back.
Pretty much.
What time is the show starting tonight, Derpy? I don't know.
I don't think they're doing one. I don't think we're doing one.
I'm not doing another one. I can't do another one.
It was fun for the first round. I think these guys will kill each other.
I would die if I have to do another one. It was fun. It took a lot out of me.
Corey says you guys should do a special guest once a month or something where one of us can join you guys. I think that's a great idea, Corey. Actually, we were talking about something like that in our meetings. That would be a lot of work. It wouldn't be for us. It would be minimal, the extra stuff. It would probably be the effort put forth by the other party. It would have to be more work. Richard says I'm just joking. He was there. A lot of people, guys. Again, a lot of people.
Yeah.
I was very excited. I'm very excited for both you guys, and Finch as well stopped by. The live stream went very well last night. Mike, what do you expect tonight? What do you expect tomorrow? And what do you expect beyond? Because here's the thing. There's a lot of questions going into this offseason. And we filled a hole on defense with our first round draft. What do you expect from the Steelers tonight, tomorrow, and beyond? Because we're going to put a team on the field in August, September.
Yeah.
What should people expect from the Steeler team, Mike, between now and the next 5 months?
I'm Jalen Milroe.
Ooh, yeah, Jalen Milroe.
That's one you haven't heard. But you know what? That hasn't been talked about a lot, Mike. But that's a very good possibility because
that's a sleeper. Yeah.
They like Jalen Milroe a lot.
Yeah, and he's a project. Worst case scenario, if you try him out at quarterback, he doesn't work, and he's willing, you can make him a running back. That cat has some great wheels, great vision, strong. I think he's better than Suck. Right now, Will Howard, I think, is a better immediate impact than Jalen Milroe. If Jalen Milroe can work on the accuracy and the footwork and be more consistent, he has potential to be a pretty good starting quarterback. But still, again, like the boom or bust with him is too much for me to take him in the third round. I'd look at the fourth round if you don't take a quarterback in the third round. Third round, I would not surprise me if they take Will Howard in the third round. If you see all the running backs gone, if you see Johnson gone, Hendrickson gone, Judikins gone, Scattaboo gone, Harvey, all the running backs gone before they get the pick at the third round, I think that's when they take someone like Will Howard.
All right.
And then from there on, you're looking for guys that have high upside that slip down for one reason or another. And they're going to be at positions of offensive line. Wouldn't surprise me to get another defensive lineman or someone from the secondary. I don't see any linebackers being taken. Maybe an edge rusher, but I don't think that's a priority there. So, yeah, I'll look quarterback, running back, offensive line, and maybe another defensive lineman.
I'm going to look at the poll, Mike. The numbers are still moving. 65% say yes, they are happy with the first round pick. 15, no, 20.
Ooh.
20 now.
It's starting to balance out.
It is starting to balance out.
Real quick.
Yeah.
We talked about picks next year. I'm just looking at the formula, and the guess right now is we have an extra 3, 4, 5, and 6 next year.
All right. Big C, I'm not really too different from your opinion, buddy. He's saying 7 and 10, finished third in the division. As I said, everybody else is improving. The defense in Cleveland, the offense, and if Cincinnati does anything on defense, it's going to be an improvement. In Baltimore, knocking us out pretty convincingly in the playoffs.
I don't even want Milroe, Mark. I hate Milroe.
In being knocked out of the playoffs by Baltimore last year, pretty convincingly, they get a nice pick in the first round. Who knows how things are going to go, Mike, but we have to be able to compete in the division. What is that? What's that sound? Is that you, Derpy?
That was me dying and choking. I tried to mute myself.
I would have rather heard you dying and choking. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Big C. 7-10, third, because are we really improving enough to win in our division? I don't know.
What is that?
Richard
Stone?
says third round running back, fourth round quarterback, fifth round defensive lineman, sixth round safety, seventh round linebacker. We do need our safeties. We do need, yeah. I mean, we need
I'm
a
not
lot.
opposed to that. I'm not opposed to that. Maybe flop out linebacker for receiver in the 7th round, someone who can develop along the way and play special teams. Maybe kick Scotty Miller out of the building.
Mark Malone says, Derpy, you sick SOB. I'm blaming you if we draft Milrow.
I hate Milrow.
Yeah, Mike was the Milrow guy. I think Derpy was just suggesting maybe. Tortilla says, you guys see any clips from John Gruden's quarterback class? He had Dart on before in the draft, and in all the clips I've seen, Gruden was talking shit to Dart. It was hilarious. I did not. Squeegee, good morning or good afternoon, rather, and welcome to the show.
Welcome.
He says, so I take it that the Shador's jersey's raising ceremony didn't impress Omar one bit. How do you like that? You just got your college number retired, and you drop out of it. You didn't even get drafted in the first round. That's what happens when you play for daddy.
I tell you what, though, if I'm Shador Sanders, I go home and I just look at the millions of dollars in my bank account from NIL money, and I'm sleeping sound tonight.
Well, that's not the point. Who cares about that? That's it's tough football. Let's see, Cordman Tommy, welcome. He does say I'm still crossing my fingers for a Buckeye back, but can't see either making it to our third. A big bummer.
Yeah. Oh, Trayvon's my guy. I want him so bad. He's a complete back, third down back, or all three down back. I love him.
Corey says, well, I'm signing up for a future date. I'll be on your show anytime. Yes. Email me, Corey. Email us here at the show. We'll talk. I'll wait for you guys to announce it and then send you something. Send you my email. Yeah, shoot us your email, Corey, and we'll talk more about it, Mike and I. And then as long as I have your contact information, I could we could talk anytime. Let's jump back into it though, Mike. We are starting to get down on time here. 62-19 right now is what the poll is saying, Mike. 62% of the people are happy with our first round draft pick last night. 19 say no, 19 say not sure. I think all in all, at the end of the day, yes, we needed it. Yes, okay. And if it was the best possible guy that we could get, you know what? I accept it. But now we have to figure out what the hell we're going to do with this offense. We're bringing back Mason Rudolph. That's the obviously DK. But come on. Are we supposed to be getting excited about the return of Mason? He won 3 games in a row one time. That's come on. Caleb says, I want to come on and talk about the ABA and the Pittsburgh Pipers.
Ooh.
I think he has the Pittsburgh Pipers poster as well.
I think so, right next to the Jim Palmer.
Mark Malone says running back, then quarterback.
Yes.
I don't have it saved anymore, but my mock draft where I had every single quarterback taken for the
Steelers.
Yeah,
I remember that.
That was my Mark Malone draft, along with my all defensive lineman draft.
Yes.
But in one of the multiple drafts that I did, mock drafts I did over at the blog, I did have Derrick Harmon twice in the first
round. Big C, no wide receiver. We need 2 DBs, 1 safety on the roster. Next year, we owe Minka $23 million. No nickel corner on the roster. I'm in the opinion, no quarterback, running back, nickel safety, OT, NT. Mike, what about Beanie Bishop? Can he become the guy at that nickelback position that he upplayed. People didn't expect him to have the season that he had as a rookie. He had multiple interceptions, if I'm not mistaken. One was pretty big. It was a game changer, if I'm remembering right. But Beanie Bishop, there was a lot of talk about, for a guy coming in where he came in. I don't even remember if he was drafted.
No, he was undrafted.
And he played the way that he did. So, is he a possibility at that nickel spot, Mike, where we wouldn't have to worry so much? Cam Sutton gone. If you give Beanie the job, do you think could he perform?
I think they already brought in competition for him. We brought over what's his name, Nichols from the
Yeah,
Jets.
Eccles.
Yeah, and Eccles, yeah, and I think he's going to compete with Beanie Bishop for that nickelback spot. If we were going to get a nickel in the draft, like Johnny Barron, he won a couple picks before us or right around us. That would have been a guy that I think could have came in right away and been the starting nickel. That's how well he plays in zone on the inside. But yeah, nickel, you got to see how Eccles does. But he did all right for the Jets. But is that going to be good enough here in Pittsburgh?
Right.
You can always get better, but I think they're content with those two as their nickels for now.
Mark Malone says, hell yeah, I'll come on and get liquored up sometime. Hey, I tell you what, all you guys are going to be the ones that are bunking in Mike's extra bedroom for the draft next year. So
who's sleeping with the dummy?
And
I'm not talking about this.
Nobody's
I'm not talking about this one.
Nobody wants to cuddle with you, believe me.
I was talking about Derpy.
Yeah.
Hey, no.
Making sure you're still there, bud.
Guys, number one pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, the Steelers did take Derrick Harmon, the defensive lineman, out of Oregon. We have rounds 2 and 3 tonight. That's starting at 7:00 p.m. The draft rounds out tomorrow, starting at noon. You have rounds 4 through 7. So, we have to improve. We have a lot of holes. We have a lot of holes to fill. Cordman Tommy says, between the draft, Celtics game 3, and Skeens starting out west tonight, I got to pace my beers. You're right. We do got Skeens. A lot going on tonight and into the weekend, guys. We have UFL football starting tonight that goes throughout the weekend, and the Pirates are starting that new series against the Dodgers. Tortilla, I'm about to get liquored up right now. 9 a.m. lunchtime beers, baby. Hey, enjoy, my man. Just stay safe. Mike, I'm just going to knock a couple things out here. Then we got to get into the trivia of the day. Then we got to start getting ready to wrap it up. I can't believe it. This show's gone really fast. To be honest, I'm going to start right here with Cordman Tommy real quick. He says, never mind pacing. I'm a divorced guy who lives alone, probably getting blasted. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
Nothing wrong with that. Mark Malone says you can't drink all day if you don't start at dawn. Very interesting.
That's big brain IQ right there.
The poll slightly moving a little bit back into the way of yes. Are you happy with the first pick? Yes is up from 63 to 65%, while the other two, no and not sure, go down from 19% to 17%. The UFL kicks back into tonight with Week 5 action. Mike, the Friday game is between Memphis and Birmingham. That is 8:00 tonight. Saturday, Michigan at St. Louis. That game is at 7:00 tomorrow. And then on Sunday, there's two UFL games. Mike, the DC Defenders will be traveling to Arlington. That game is at noon. In the late game is Houston at San Antonio. That game is at 3 p.m. on Sunday. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds back in action tomorrow as well, Mike. They'll be taking on Detroit City FC. That's right, our soccer team will be hosting the Detroit City Soccer Club. That game is at 4 p.m. tomorrow. Get down to Highmark Stadium to check and support and cheer on your Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Back at action tomorrow, Mike, 4:00. And the Pittsburgh Pirates, as mentioned, they were failed to be able to get their first sweep of the season.
Yeah.
They're up 2-0 on the Angels. They drop it, Mike, 4-3. The Pirates fall to 10-16 overall. Majitsky goes 5 innings pitched, gives up 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks. Again, O'Neal Cruz, 3 leadoff home runs in the last week. Now he has 7 home runs, 11 stolen bases, both on pace for a 40-40 season, like the old good old days of Ricky Henderson, if you guys can remember. Mike, also Gorski comes up from the minor league team. In his very first at bat, he hits a home run for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I saw he came up. I didn't check the game out yesterday.
Also, Mike, Joey Bart gets 2 hits in the game as well. Continuing his success at the plate. Pirates back in action tonight. They start a 3-game series against the Dodgers. They don't have to travel far to play. Mike, the Dodgers are 16-9 coming into this game. The game tonight starts at 10:10. This is the first of 3. Probables are Paul Skeens with a 2-2 record, 2.87 ERA, 30 strikeouts, going up against Yamamoto. Yamamoto, Mike, is 3-1 with a .93 ERA,
Ooh.
38 strikeouts on the season.
Ooh.
This does not look good
No, it does not.
for the Pittsburgh Pirates. But again, we never really score well with Paul Skeens on the bump.
No.
I don't see why it would change tonight.
No, it's not going to change tonight. And no, we're still 6 games out of the first place.
And it's only April. It's only April.
And they were the one Pirate reporter or one of the reporters in Pittsburgh was like, season's over in April. And like McCutcheon's like, oh, I'm glad you're not the GM. And
well,
like, how can you say that? Like,
Mike, he's the captain.
He has to say that.
Could he have said anything else in that position?
No. Okay. No, he shouldn't have said anything else. But the fans should be able to look at reality, and the season's over already.
We're trying. Like, we're trying to look at reality. We just need a playoff win in the city. Come on.
We're not getting it from the Buccos.
It's skewing our way of thinking.
We got the Pittsburgh Passion, baby.
We do got the Passion. That's right. The Passion also start tomorrow, guys. The Pittsburgh Passion, the female team right here in Pittsburgh, they start against the Tampa Bay Inferno tomorrow. Let me see. I'm going to go right here. Tortilla says, I am the liquor. I am the liquor. Squeegee says running back can be had all the way to the 5th. Ollie Gordon was a top back in 23. Now he'll be up for grabs late this year. And Caleb, he went to high school with Gorski. That's pretty cool. Gorski did hit a home run in his very first at bat for the Pirates last night. Looks like he's going to be a good move for us here in Pittsburgh. Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website?
The2dumbyusers.com. We got the merch store over there. We got all of our social media links over there as well. We got the blog. Go to see how terrible I did yesterday in the mock draft that I did. Nothing panned out the way I thought it would be for the Steelers. Still got one of the guys I picked in a mock draft before, but that's all over at the2dumbyusers.com. And Squeegee, you're right. Ollie Gordon, I seen he's way down on draft boards this year. He would be a steal in like the 6th, 7th round.
All right, there you go. Go check out the website, everybody. That's www.the2dumbyusers.com, www.the2dumbyusers.com. Mike has a lot of cool things over there. There's merchandise. And again, Mike does update the blog board every week. So do check that out, everybody. Let's get into some trivia. Mike, the trivia, the question of the day. This is going to be a draft trivia, not necessarily a Pittsburgh Steelers draft trivia question, just an NFL trivia question. Derpy, are you there?
I hate everything.
All right, there we go. Guys, question of the day. Who is the only number one overall draft pick since 2020 that's not been a quarterback? Who is the only number one overall draft pick in the NFL draft since 2020 that's not a quarterback? Take a minute to think that over, guys. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day right here on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
All right. Mike seems like he has it. Caleb says Gorski and the Brewers prospect Yoho went to rival high schools. All right. That's pretty cool. I've been seeing Gorski's name up in the minors. He does great in the minors, but again, his very first at bat knocks it out. You love to see it. You love to see it, Mike. And also with O'Neal Cruz being on the pace that he's on, 7 home runs in the first month, that puts him on pace for 42 home runs on the season if he in fact keeps this up. Mike, and also 66 stolen bases if he in fact would be able to be consistent. So
hopefully he can. Hopefully
could be a great year for O'Neal Cruz. All right, guys, let's get back to the trivia question of the day. Guys on the board, don't hesitate to throw your answers up as well, or just take a shot at it if you'd like. Question of the day is a draft question in the NFL draft. Who is the only number one overall draft pick since 2020 that's not a quarterback? Mike seems like he has an idea. Derpy, I'm going to start with you. Who is the only number one overall draft pick since 2020 that's not a quarterback?
I have no idea.
You want to take a stab at it?
No.
All right, I'm locking Derpy in on the boy. Is he bitter, huh? I've never seen Derpy this bitter.
Exactly. I hate everything.
Mike, I'm going to come over to you.
Yeah.
Derpy is locked in on I have no idea. I'm going to ask you the same question. In the last 5 drafts, who is the only number one overall draft pick since 2020 that's not a quarterback? Mike, you look like you know the answer. Tell us.
Yeah. oh God, I forget his first name, but Walker. His last name, a defensive end or edge from Jacksonville.
All right, so you're saying Trayvon Walker,
Yep.
the defensive end for Jacksonville, and is this your final answer?
Final answer, baby.
All right. Corey on the board says I don't remember his name, but I believe it was a defensive tackle in 23. Close, very, very close. It was 22. It was defensive tackle. Who was the only number 1 overall draft pick since 2020? It's not a quarterback. Derpy didn't know. Mike, he chose Trayvon Walker, the defensive end that got drafted to Jacksonville, which is correct, guys. Trayvon Walker is the correct answer. The other 4 years were quarterbacks that were taken with the number 1 overall pick since 2020. So congratulations, Mike. Good job on that. Oh boy, draft night tonight, Derpy. Are you in? You out? You watching it, or you passively in the house on the TV? What's your story for tonight, man?
I don't know, man. I'm bitter.
Mike, you watching the draft tonight?
Oh God, yes. It'll be on in the background. I'll be drinking heavily while it's on, having a good time. Yeah.
Also, I do, Mike. I haven't heard anything different. I do believe that the 2 cranky Jagoffs are on tonight at 9:30.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, I am just trying to think. I haven't heard anything different because of the draft. So, also at 9:30, go over and see what. Oh, believe me, you're not. He says, "Poor man, Tommy. Thanks, guys. Now I feel like a retard for not knowing. You know what? We got bigger retards. Believe me.
Oh, yeah. I get like 5% of the questions right.
Yeah." Derby didn't even try.
Derby said, "Fuck them trivia questions."
Yeah,
I said, fuck defensive tackles.
our guys
Ooh.
are routinely retarded. But yes, do check out tonight, 9:30. I'm sure they'll be covering a little bit of the draft as well. Check out Finch and Tim over to 2 Cranky Jagoffs right here on the 2 Dumb Yinzer YouTube network. Again, 9:30 tonight, the 2 Cranky Jagoffs. Corey says, Cordman Tommy, no reason to feel that way, LOL. So many players drafted every year, a lot. And absolutely. I didn't know it. I looked it up. I'm going to be honest. I didn't know who the only non-quarterback drafted in the next 5 years was going to be. But good job, guys. Everybody did had some good guesses. Mike didn't nail it. Mike, what do you got, man? Anything before we start getting ready to wrap up for today?
Oh man. I got nothing, man. Other than today was fun. Last night was a blast with the live stream. Again, thank you everyone who came on. Thank you again today for tuning in to hear us yap about Steelers' hopefully potential long-term successor to Cam Hayward on the D line. Hopefully we can sneak back into the second, grab a franchise running back to round out the offense, so that pick up a quarterback later on. But man, rounds 2 and 3 tonight, 4 and 7. This is where you round out the team. These are the rounds that I live for and breathe for. First round's fun. This is the round where if you hit on some of these guys, your team can make a quantum leap.
I do want to address Corey real quickly. I did miss his message on the board. He says, fun fact, an 8-year-old Craig Yoho used to shoot baskets during this intern's rec league basketball games. His older brother was a teammate and his dad was a coach. Huh. That's cool, man. Caleb also says, I have a follow-up. Oh, that shake again, Mike. That Bart shake.
Ugh.
Derpy, what do you got, man? What's your bitter ass got to say before we go?
I got 3 things.
Yeah.
I'm going to be going to B-Dubs probably.
You're going to get beat up?
No, B-Dubs. Buffalo.
Oh. Okay.
Secondly, I don't hate the pick. It's just why.
Okay.
And thirdly, I hate everything.
Well, you did create a classic clip. No two ways about that.
I hate everything!
There it is, guys. There it is.
I hate everything!
Caleb says, I knew a D2 offensive tackle who would eat a tub of cottage cheese before every workout. He says, what the hell is cottage cheese?
I got one more thing, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Prayers to the Arenas kid. Gilbert Arenas' kid who got in a car crash. He's like in some kind of coma, I believe.
Oh, is he in a coma? I heard about the crash. I didn't know. He's in a coma.
I think so.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, hoping the best for him as well. I don't know too much about it. I just seen about that. Also, cottage cheese. That's another big thing here in Western PA, man. I don't know anybody's grandma who doesn't eat cottage cheese
Ugh.
or has the container in their fridge with other food in the cottage cheese container because old grandmothers just don't throw them things away. I know that my mom has a cupboard full of cottage cheese containers. I do want to say thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do this without you. Thank you so much. I do want to say thank you to everybody on the board. You guys are always awesome as always. You guys always keep things interesting here on the show. Thank you so much. I do want to say thank you to everybody that's maybe just home listening, maybe in the car, at work, at the gym, whatever the case may be. We appreciate you as well. Thank you so much. Let me grab a couple of these last ones. Caleb's saying, okay, he's saying that he's still in the hospital but responsive, so that's good.
There you go.
Tortilla says recycled cheese is basically cottage cheese. Basically, it looks like like it's herded cheese, like it's when milk gets warm is basically what it looks like. Cordman Tommy says, "Hey, over my ex-wife used to put Reese's cups in cottage cheese.
Oh,
Warped
man.
as hell." He's warped
I think I
as
just threw up.
hell. Caleb says, "You married that person?" What else? Corey Beaver says, "Hey, cream cheese and Reese's sounds dope, though." Yeah, you ain't kidding. Cream cheese and anything sounds good. And then but she was bombing the sack. Yeah, she sounds like she's freaky, man. But guys, I do think that that's going to be everything for today. We'll be back first thing on Monday to continue to talk about the draft, guys, to see how things turned out for the Steelers and around the league. We'll be back at our normal time to kick off the new week, guys. Again, don't forget the Bucks are starting a series with the Dodgers. Paul Skeens, Mitch Keller, and Bailey Falter, 3 pitchers that are going to be starting for the Pirates over the next 3 days in Los Angeles. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds, again, taking on Detroit City at home.
I have a question.
UFL action starts tonight all through the weekend, just in case you want to watch some football. Then, of course, rounds 2 and 3 of the draft starts tonight, and rounds 4 through 7 on Saturday. Yeah, go ahead, Derpy.
Where is Paul Skeen's mustache at? Where has he been? We need him to return.
I know. He doesn't want to look. He was a weird looking kid last year with just the mustache. He changed it up. Now he kind of has a little beard going on and everything. But something's got to give. Derpy, it's not looking good for the Pirates. But you know what? In all fairness, it's never looking good for the Pirates.
Right.
Tortilla says cottage cheese and chocolate sounds like a homemade bomb. Caleb says you kissed someone who tasted like cottage cheese and peanut butter. And Tortilla says, I'm more of a beer and beef jerky kind of guy. We definitely understand that language for sure. Guys, thank you so much one more time. Enjoy the rest of the draft. There's still a lot left, Mike. One round out of the way. 6 more to go. Tonight, 7 o'clock. Check out the 2 cranky jagoffs right here at 9:30 tonight. If you, like I said, I just don't know what they're doing. I assume I haven't heard any different.
With them.
I assume that things are straight and on plan, but check out tonight, 9:30. The guys will be here. Mike, the final read on the poll is this. Are you happy with the first round pick that the Pittsburgh Steelers made? Yes. 64% says yes. 16% says no. 20% says not sure is the final poll results. So there you have it, guys. We appreciate your participation. I was just very curious to see what people what Yinzers are thinking, Mike, because to this point, it wasn't good. But you know what? Fans today, Steeler fans and the viewers definitely gave me a little bit of optimism because it doesn't feel that it's as bad as what I was reading on the internet. Tommy says, made her rinse first. Silver bullet time. Guys, thank you so much on the board. Thank you so much at home. For Derpy, am I forgetting anything, Mike?
Nope, that's it, man. Oh, great show.
For Derpy, for Mike in the Steelers Central Mobile Studio,
I
myself,
hate everything.
the two dumb yinzers, guys. If you enjoyed Derpy's mayhem and his hijinks, we're gonna finish out the week with the Derpy song one more time. Everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy the NFL draft. I hope you get everything you wanted in the draft this year. We'll be back first thing Monday to talk all about that and much, much more. Have a great weekend from the two dumb yinzers. See you on Monday. Bye-bye.
Down in Ohio, where the winds don't sleep, Derpy's a mystery, he's in too deep. Face never shown, just a shadow's grin, enigma like bourbon with a punch of sin. Oh, Derpy, you're the talk of the town, Steelers jersey on, never backs down. Smoke detector singing its own tune, beeping for 2 years under that same old moon. Comic-Con, cape flapping like thunder till the break of dawn. On two dumb yinzers, he's solid gold. Tales of Derpy man, they never get old. Oh, Derpy, you're the talk of the town. Steelers jersey on, never backs down. Smoke detector singing its own tune, beeping for 2 years under that same old moon. Oh, he's Superman from across state lines. Steelers in his heart, yeah, his soul aligns. Ohio born, but Pittsburgh son. Derpy runs wild, he's a loaded fun gun. A ghost in the night with a laugh so sly. Nobody knows if that's truth or lie. The beep beep goes the smoke alarm song. In Derpy's world, it's been beeping too long. Oh, Derpy, you're the talk of the town. Steelers jersey on, never backs down. Smoke detector singing its own old tune, beeping for 2 years under that same old moon. For 2 years under that same old moon. Oh, he's Superman at the Comic-Con, cape flapping like thunder till the break of dawn. On two dumb yinzers, he's solid gold. Tales of Derpy man, they never get old. Oh, Derpy, you're the talk of the town. Steelers jersey on, never backs down. Smoke detector singing its own old tune, beeping for 2 years